Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Let's Play the Wonderful 101. Today, we're going to start the first proper mission of the game, Operation 001-A. First, before we do that, we're going to take a quick trip into the shop. Now, next to a couple of these items, you're going to see Peace Star throwing up a peace sign. That is a hint that some of these upgrades are particularly handy to have around. Now, most of them are really expensive, except these two. These two that we can afford after having only beaten the prologue. And they happen to be the two most indispensable skills in the game. Unite Guts, which is a block, and Unite Spring, which is a dodge. They're cheap enough for you to afford right away for a reason. They're just about essential.
Team, after 20 years of silence, geathjerk is back, and now they're hitting us where it hurts, with a preemptive strike on Blossom City. But we can't let them have it. The rise of that city is the rise of our planet following Earth Defense War 2, and I'll die before I let them lay their paws on it.
I've been waiting all my life for the chance to make those alien scum feel the sting of my Valiantium blade. Of course, they won't feel it for long. They'll be dead from the blade.
Our colleagues at the Gaia Defense Army have already activated the hyperplasma shield that circles the planet, codenamed Margarita. That plasma layer has most of the invading army deadlocked. Unfortunately, none of the GDA tactical simulations accounted for the salty dingoes blitzing our orbital defenses before Margarita could be shaken to life. And now, entire battalions have turned our home into a cocktail of destruction. The Sentinels have gathered you all here on the Virgin Victory for one reason and one reason only. An all-out attack on geathjerk. We will eliminate the enemy with speed, precision, and extreme prejudice. I hereby initiate Project Stinger.
Why don't you just have me do it? Save everybody the trouble.
Wonderful ones from around the world are being rushed in and will join you as the battle progresses. Wonder Red, as a resident of Blossom City, your knowledge of the battlefield will be a valuable asset to the team. I'm placing you in charge. This is your chance to prove you have what it takes.
Dude, seriously?
Sir, with all due respect,
Accept command of the team.
Roger.
Nelson, bro, hold up. Captain Noob Cakes? Really?
Tachyon radar showing multiple hostiles. I'm reading attack squadrons in the Blossom City suburbs. Waveform patterns indicate heavy anti-air artillery.
Anti-air? They must be trying to block our approach. Wonderful 100. Deploy and eliminate those enemy forces on the double.
Roger. Team, fall in!
Roger!
While we're loading up the first operation, let me take care of these guys, and then we'll go over the basics of the controller layout, since we kind of glossed over that when we did the prologue. So we have the X button, which uses your wonderful ones to perform a team attack. We have Y to dash, A to attack, B to jump and double jump, and right trigger and left trigger, which now do our Unite Spring and our Unite Guts attack. You're going to see eventually that almost all of our buttons have multiple different uses each.
Team, unite up!
Roger.
That there is a space pepper. We are looking for eggplants, peppers, and carrots. And those are just some small healing items. I'm not going to go into like the descriptions for those. If we send our wonderful ones into the window of that school building, we get a wonderful figurine, which is a little action figure that gives you some background information on the wonderful ones you can recruit. So this being the first real mission of the game, this is where 101 is going to ask you to start understanding all of your tools and what they're used for. This is also where you're going to start to notice that the game has some camera problems. Camera problems and just like visual readability are probably the only things that I would knock the game for, and it's really the only reason why I don't rate Wonderful 101 higher than I do. And I do think pretty highly of it. It's just needs that little extra bit of polish. So when you daze an enemy, you can wrap the Wonderliner around them, and you can pick them up and throw them around for huge damage. Also, like Angels and Bayonetta, sometimes enemies will drop weapons for you to use. Just limited time use, very strong weapons. Let's see, we'll recruit all these guys and help them out. We're looking for peppers, carrots, and eggplants because they are mixing ingredients. This game uses an identical system to Bayonetta's alchemy. So we're just collecting ingredients, mainly for one specific unique item to the mixing system. More on that probably in a couple of operations from now. As you can see, not only can your leader of your team pick up items, you also saw there, that was good. You also saw the sword itself and the Wonderliner pick some items up. Let's see. We used Unite Guts to block these two guys' attacks, and that dazed them for a little bit. And now, if he hadn't attacked me, you would have seen that the team attack was also doing its work on dazing and stunning that guy. Oh right, there's not another wave of enemies. I had to move forward. The operation is not quite over yet, or the mission. I always forget there's like the subdivisions. It's operation and then mission. Individual missions within the operation. There we go. Let's see, there's batteries up here. Again, 20 of those will extend our Unite gauge, which is the battery meter. Only temporarily, though. I think it resets between every operation. Like, it reset between here and the prologue. The same thing happens to your temporary recruits as well. Any wonderful ones, which are the unique ones that you recruit, will stick with you between operations. But the temporary ones, like the school children, the soldiers, the police, the regular citizens that you recruit temporarily, they will go away between missions. Wonderful toilets! Yeah. So P-Star is teaching us about a new mechanic here. When you come upon one of these tubes, which is a Wonder Toilet, you can send your Wonderliner into them, and it will fill them with wonderful ones. And once it pops, you get something cool as a reward. What you're seeing here is, occasionally when you recruit a unique wonderful one, it will increase your average level for that weapon. Like, every wonderful one uses a specific weapon. That one happened to be a sword user, so it increased the average level for all sword users on the team, which gave us access to Wonderful Stinger. And again, you're seeing that the Wonderliner itself, you can use like a half-drawn glyph to reach out and grab far-off things like O-parts, which are our currency. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but it seemed pretty obvious. Which helps in the interest of time. There are a lot of little details, like so many that it's actually really hard to point all of them out. Oops! I'm surprised Wonderbeer here survived the tanker explosion. What you're intended to do is wrap the Wonderliner around that upturned tanker and throw it away so you can recruit all of the temporary recruits in Wonderbeer. I killed them by accident, except for Wonderbeer. He's the only one I care about, though. So another neat thing you can do is you can hit select on the gamepad, and it brings up picture-in-picture. What you see in the bottom right is the view of the gamepad, and the rest of it is the regular screen. It's nifty that you can do this picture-in-picture style, because there are a couple of sections like this in the game, little puzzle sections where normally you can only see the gamepad, and you're using the gyro to control the camera. I don't necessarily like these sections, but they're usually relatively harmless, painless, and they're few and far between. So all I had to do there was use Wonder Fist to turn the dials to create the code 235. These things are called gachas, and they're named after the fact that they look like and work like gachapon machines. Wonderful cake, I think that's a health item, I don't really know. Somebody asked, like, in one of my old Bayonetta videos why I don't just suck it up and use health items. That's because I come from the old tradition of Devil May Cry, where using a health item in the middle of a mission, or an operation, imparts upon you a deep sense of shame. Also, it lowers your ranking at the end of the chapter. You can see that Unite Guts really doing tons of work. It uses a battery along with the Unite Spring. Both of those use a battery whenever you use them. The Unite Spring has invincibility frames on it, and you can chain it back to back if you time it correctly. And as for Unite Guts, it lasts for about 2 seconds. Oop. And it's got a couple of, there are a couple of very specific limitations to what it can't block. But most of the things that we're going to be encountering in the first mission, you can kind of just sleepwalk through blocking. You just have to be aware of their tells. But you really don't have to pay too much attention to what this specific attack coming at you is, because you could just block everything at this point. I think there's one enemy at the end of this chapter that you have to kind of be careful about blocking, and then those will become more frequent as the game goes on. Now, if we jump into the water, we get a couple of secrets down here. For one, there's this little cube where we have to be Wonder Blue, so we can break the chains off of it, much like how we had to be Wonder Red before, for a couple of those things to turn the cranks. Let's see, if we send a couple of wonderful ones into these pipes, we get 2 hidden files, which just give you a little bit of backstory. Like, we got 1 file for Wonder Blue, and we got some for some of the geathjerk enemies. Also, if we come down into the water, we can wrap the Wonderliner around all these fish and turn them into money. Hopefully I'll get to go into detail about some of this stuff a little bit more as we go on. I'm feeling like might be a little bit overwhelming with the pace of how fucking crazy this game is to take everything in. And we got a little Mario warp pipe. Remember, this did start life out as kind of a Smash-esque game, kind of a Nintendo crossover IP action game. And if we take the warp pipe back to where we fought the things around the gachapon machine, we get a secret mission, the very first one that we've been able to do in the game. There is one back in the prologue that we just don't have access to yet, which is the only thing that stopped me from getting the pure plat on the prologue stage. Get some of the Team Unite morphs going. Oh, he was not ready to attack. I see 2 of them getting ready to come in, though. No? Oh, that's the typical Platinum thing of enemies. They try to avoid having enemies attack you from off-screen, which is pretty generous, especially in Wonderful 101, considering some of the camera problems you run into. Not bad at all. 10 Platinums already. Don't expect that to be the norm going forward. I've been pretty fortunate to get, I think, nothing but pure plats so far. That's definitely not going to be the norm going forward. this game is really, really, really intense. It's hard enough to get pure plats in this game when you're 100% focused on playing. Suffice it to say, with commentary, that's not going to be super feasible for long. So we're going back into picture-in-picture, because if we backtrack to the warehouse, after doing the secret mission, we now recruit a new wonderful one. This one's new fist user, which means we just leveled up our fist skills and got Wonder Stinger for Wonder Red. And we got the Golden Throat Wonder Diva, who uses the Beauty Knuckles. There are tons of little Easter eggs and details hidden in those bios, by the way. Might want to freeze frame on some of them. We can also recruit all the soldiers who were on the bridge earlier, and just create a little bridge across. And we are sitting pretty at 79 recruits, including a bunch of new wonderful ones. Let's pan the camera in. You can use the left and the right shoulder buttons to zoom the camera out or pan it in a little bit, crop it in. Ah, a bunch of peppers. I want those. 30 of each, I believe. I think it's 30. 30 carrots, 30 peppers, and 30 eggplants mix into a Wonder credit card, which allows you to buy any item at the Wonder Mart free of charge. So, this is an annoying new enemy called a Hoedown. Its front is completely armored until you reflect its projectile back at it a couple of times, shedding the armor. Again, another reason why you really want Wonder Guts. These enemies are really big problems without guts. But once that armor comes off, you can just team unite with fists, and away you go. I should say, by the way, the big advantage to Wonder Blue and the sword, its range is much wider than the fist. But the fist does substantially more damage. And now is the time to go. We'll collect these batteries as we dash across, and like Okami, if we wrap the Wonder Liner around some soil, we can cause plants to grow. Woo! Man, this is a fast-paced game, and the first mission, relatively calm in comparison to what's coming. That's gonna do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.